Welcome to the first Ian Tyson concert. A night we all look forward to for the whole year. This is always a big night for all of us. We've all grown up listening to Ian's great songs. I know I don't have to remind you to turn off your cell phones and no flash photography. Still, pictures I think are fine as long as there is no flash. So, Ian grew up on Vancouver Island, and at 6 years old, his dad took him to his very first rodeo, and he met his very first cowboy, who picked him up and put him in a saddle, and he knew at that point that he had found his place. He knew he would always love being in the saddle. He'd always loved art, and at 21, he enrolled in art school. One of the things that I love about Ian's songs the most is how visual they are and how they paint a picture. One day he took the day off and borrowed $15, went to the rodeo, paid his entry fee, and ended up riding a saddle bronc, which was going to change his life. He busted his ankle, and really busted it so that they had to repair it and put pins in it. And they put him in the broken leg ward, and for 2 weeks he lay in a bed. But fortuitously, the kid next to him had a guitar, and he was playing the latest Johnny Cash song, I Walk the Line. And Ian, at that point, decided, this is for me. I'm going to be a singer. And he'd always loved music, but at that point, he started to really focus on playing guitar. He joined up with Sylvia Fricker. They became Ian and Sylvia, put out incredible albums. They were obviously a real cornerstone for the 60s, the folk world, and into the 70s. After a while, they split up. And fortunately, Ian never lost his love of the West and never lost his love of horses and cowboys, and continued to write some of the best Western songs, cowboy songs that any of us have ever heard. And we've been listening to them ever since. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the legend, Ian Tyson.
Good to see you. Good to be back in Elko. I'm glad you guys could make it tonight. Hope you have a good time. Give me lots of energy, because yeah, there you go. This is a song about the godfather of the whole trail driving era. His name was Charles Goodnight. This is a song. Charles Goodnight rode down from Illinois on a mule when he was 9 years old to Texas. This is a place that I visited, which is his gravesite on the Llano Estacado outside of Amarillo, where they hang the wild rags. Cowboys and cowgirls hang the wild rags on the chain link fence that surrounds his grave as a tribute to Charles. I thought that was very cool. On the Llano Estacado, not far from Amarillo, big trucks roll and the wind blows mostly all of the time. Way out on the prairie, in a lonely cemetery, wild rags flutter mountainside over Charles Goodnight's grave. Bandanas blue and yellow, all the shades of Paladuro. Where they come from I do not know. Maybe riders on the wind. All along the fence line, like some old-time cowboy shrine, wild rags flutter and the wind sighs over Charles Goodnight's grave. All right. On the lead guitar over there. If you ride for Amarillo for to dance the wild fandango out among the moon glow of the Panhandle plains, raise a toast to the legend of good night and loving, and the ones that hang the wild rags over Charles Goodnight's grave. Yeah, the ones that hang the wild rags over Charles Goodnight's grave. Thanks a lot, everybody. Does the new voice sound okay? Yeah, well, this next one's going to go out to Dr. Tom Gillis, who's saved it for me, and a great surgeon and a great doctor, and this is going to go especially for him. This is an Alberta song about the Blood Indians of the Blackfoot Confederacy. They used to call and still do, call the Rockies the land of shining mountains. In the land of the long roads, high lonesome prairie, dreaming of the springtime, first crocus in the snow, coffee in a gold cup, headed for the oil rig, land of shining mountains, big Alberta sky. The old man and the castle, the red deer and the battle, all those rivers in a dry land feed the cities of the plain. But nothing lasts forever up on the great divide, land of shining mountains, big Alberta sky. In the night I have heard the thunder roll, But like the cowboy said, wish I'd seen the buffalo. Well, maybe they'll come back again. He's gonna get up early, try and make $1. The only girl that he wanted, she took the Greyhound for the coast. Yes, she was bound believing she will not forget him. Oh, the land of shining mountains, big Alberta sky. Land of shining mountains, big Alberta sky. Thank you. That's the old timer over there on my left, Mr. Gordon Maxwell on the bass and the high harmonies. This is his, about, I don't know, what your 12th, 15th Elko? And never been thrown in jail in Elko even, so. But he's got time yet. It's early. Yeah. I'm going to do a song about where I live in southern Alberta. It's right on the edge of the mountains, and we have it's great raptor country, and I love raptors of all kinds. You know, eagles, falcons, red-tailed hawks, ferruginous hawks. We got them all, and the reason we got them all is because we have a huge gopher population, and it's a constant battle because every one of those little buggers, you know, they have 7 offspring to each, the ratio. But these young hawks, they sit on the fence posts in the fall when they get kicked out of the nest. And when I walk down the gravel road to the old stone house, they scream at me as I go by. And they say, "This is my sky. This is my sky." Yeah. Walking on the gravel road, trying to think of higher things, trying to shift my heavy load. I'm the king of the mood swing too. Everything's fast forward now, years are flying by. Man, that can really fuck up a 1950s guy. This is my sky. This is my sky. This is my sky. There's a magpie on a wooden cross. Does your lover find you brave? Will she winter with you down along the Indian graves? Is anybody made for life? I think only Canada's do. I'll join their solo flight on my way back to you, Hawks. This is my sky. This is my sky. This is my sky. The sweetgrass hills down along the medicine line. I learned to hold my tongue, slip through customs slick and fine. Sweet America, she's come off the rails. That's what lies and money do. Who the hell am I to talk on my way back to you? This is my sky. This is my sky. This is my sky. Thanks a lot. I'd like to do an oldie. This song is one of my oldest ones, really, and it's, as they say in the business, it's got legs, like a good racehorse. It was made famous originally by a wonderful singer by the name of Judy Collins, and she did a great job in it. And then later on, another wonderful singer by the name of Susie Bogus. This song has paid a ton of alimony and child support. I tell you, it really has. It's been good to me, you know. It's been good to me. I wrote this song in the East Greenwich Village in the early '60s, where Sylvia, the wonderful singer who was my partner in those days, she had a tenement apartment, you know. She loved New York, still does, and she goes there all the time. Still has the apartment, and it was like a 5-story walk-up, you know. And I don't know where the idea for this song came from, but I'm sure glad it did. And it's kind of one of the early rodeo songs, but from a girl's point of view. See if you remember this tune. And if you do, sing on the bridge with me, okay? There's a young man that I know, just turned 21, comes from down in southern Colorado, just out on the service, looking for his fun someday soon, going with him someday soon. Stand him, 'cause he works the rodeo. Daddy said that he would leave me crying. I would follow him right down the roughest road of home someday soon, going with him someday soon. Everybody sing now. When he come to call, my pa ain't got a good word to say. But I bet he was just as wild in his younger days. Blow you old blue north, blow him back to me. Riding in from California, loves them damned old rodeos as much as he loves me. Someday soon I'm going with him. Someday soon. All right. Good word to say. But I bet he was pretty wild, you know, in his younger days. Blow you old blue north, blow him back to me. It's like they're riding in from California. Loves them damned old rodeo just as much as he loves me. But someday soon, go with him. Someday soon, someday soon, I'm going with him. Someday soon. Back in the late 80s, I was starting to write, a new kind of cowboy music, a new kind of Western music, and experimenting a lot. And this was the place that I could try it. This was the place that provided the audience for that kind of music, because before that, there really wasn't an audience, And we played the honky tonks and fighting and dancing clubs, and they were fun most of the time. But they didn't, they weren't ready for original stuff. They wanted to hear, George Strait basically, and George is terrific. But I wanted to write my own thing, and this is one of the early ones, and this song has become was an important one for me. I heard a couple of good Nevada buckaroos talking about Leon Flick was one of them from up in Plush, Oregon, and I think Jesse Smith was the other one. Anyway, they were saying, one of them said to the other, "Did you know that they sold MC Cavy?" And the other guy said, "No, I didn't. I hadn't heard about that." He said, "Yeah, the whole Cavy's gone, and they're selling the MC. They're breaking it up and so on." And I was kind of like a fly on the wall and listening to this, and I thought, "Gee, what a metaphor for the Old West colliding headlong into the New West." And when I went home, I wrote. It was in the summer, and I was sitting I've got a little sandstone ledge above the reservoir there, and I sat down and wrote this song. It's called MC Horses. Having a drink at Stockman's, listen to the guitars ring. But Jesse said, they sold the MC Horses. I'll be damned, when was that? I hadn't heard of the thing back in August, 100 head or more. Got the people that come from everywhere to bid on high and the low. Thereby on a piece legend. With the cow herd all dispersed, the old cabby, she gotta go. Back in August, 100 head. Come on, boys, run 'em in. We're gonna let this sale begin. Pass to the big Remudas of the mighty MC. Horses here for everyone. Let's get it done. By the time that Oregon sun goes down, this outfit's history. This outfit, she's history. So the MC crew, they rode them all, and the people all gathered round. Old boy gave $2,000 for Banjo. Old Banjo kicked his trailer apart when he tried to load him up for town. Back in August, 100 head or more. If you ever have a beer at the Adel store, say hi to Chuck and Annie, and they'll show you them big old steerheads up there hanging. And when you ask where have they gone, hell, they gone like that MC Cavy back in August, 100 head or more. Come on, boys, run 'em in. We're gonna let this sale begin. Pass to the big Remudas for the mighty MC. Horses here for everyone. Saddle them kids, let's get it done. By the time that Oregon sun goes down, this outfit's history. This outfit's history. having a drink at Stockman's way out on the Sagebrush Sea. Jesse said, you know, they sold the MC horses. This is for Dick Jones. May he rest in peace. Brahmins and Mustangs, warm summer rain, and the Indian paintbrush blooming again. On 2 million acres, all of it was green. I'm praying that you'll answer when the phone starts to ring. Now the snow-covered peaks stand white against the sky. Santa Rosa's turning, summer's gone by. And my horses are tired, I'm about through. I find myself thinking all the time about you. Did I stay too long? Did I play too long? Did I whisper in my dreams? All the thing is, life ain't what it seems. La da 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 da. All the thing is, life sure ain't what it seems. There's a payphone in paradise. It's out on the edge of town. Big cottonwood trees, golden leaves falling down. I'll wait a little longer, give it one more try. Please try your call later. It's cowboy, goodbye. Did I stay too long? Did I play too long? Did I whisper in my dreams? The things, life ain't what it seems. La da 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 da. All the things, life sure ain't what it seems. Back a few years ago, I guess 4 or 5 now, my voice was pretty well gone, shot, and I hadn't found the magic doctor yet, and it was pretty strange. I was trying to imitate my ravens that live in my hay shed, and they were teaching me a whole new vocal approach, you know. But it didn't make AM radio at all for some reason. In fact, it didn't make FM either. But my good friend Gail Steiger from Arizona, who a lot of you know, a fine filmmaker and a good cowboy, and he phoned me. He said, you know, I have a friend who is one of the great boatmen on the Colorado River, and he wants to extend an invitation to you to ride with him down the Colorado. He thinks it'd do wonders for your voice and your outlook on life. And he said, just a real nice change. And I said, well, I would, it's getting away from the ranch, the same old story. And then I thought, well, screw it, I'm going to go. And I'm sure glad I did. It was I got on a plane in Calgary and flew to Las Vegas, and then you get on a bus and go way up into Utah, and finally you get on one of these big, they're the boats that they used in Nam, on those rivers, and they don't tip over or anything like that, but you can get bucked off just the same. You can on that river when you hit those rapids. It bucks pretty good. But Mike DeNoyer is a wonderful boatman, and he took me down. It was 8 days, 7 nights. It's the most wonderful experience. You see the history, the whole geological history of the world unfolding before your eyes. Right? It's just really something. And if you get real lucky, you can even see a condor. A California condor with a 12-foot wingspread. We saw one, and it was terrific. And then you go almost all the way down to the dam, and you don't want it to end, but like everything, it inevitably does. This is a song I wrote for Mike, and I hope you enjoy it. It's called Rio, Colorado. In the spring of the year, I had a chance to go and ride the white water on the Rio Colorado. I was full of wonder as we pulled into the stream. I was ready for the wild ride, river of life, canyon of dreams. We were rolling on the river, on rolling with the flow, to the cathedral of the Condor, to the rapids down below. As the sun was setting, I took to thinking that it seemed I was under the spell of a river of life, canyon of dreams. Sleeping on a sandbar, playing my guitar. Lying on a sandbar. Counting the stars. Hey, we ain't getting any younger, no. If you have a chance to go and ride the white water on the Rio Colorado, call up Mike DeNoyer, throw caution to the wind. You'll be ready for a wild ride down the river of life, canyon of dreams. You'll be ready for the wild ride down the river of life, canyon of dreams. That's on an album called Raven Singer, which you may want to check out. I don't sing very well on it. I croak, but the songs are pretty good. They're some of the best songs I've written, and we got them. I think we're signing that stuff after the set, and we'll see you come by and check out Raven Singer, and also there's another new one called Best of All the Good Ones Volume 2. So yeah, this is from back in I don't know. I want you to help me with this. I know you can. Roll on, white, wild horse heaven. I hope it always will be. Roll on, white, far across the sagebrush sea. Try that with us now. Roll on, white, wild horse heaven, wild horse heaven. Hope it always will be. Roll on, white, far across the sagebrush sea. At the top of mahogany ridge you can see forever and forever. Oh, it's a long, long way. The desert rules in the first room. You got to know your way back home, and you'll be back to ride another day. And when night falls and the silence all around you, and the beating of your heart is the only sound, down in some lonely canyon beside a sagebrush fire, dreaming on the lights of Paradise Town. Everybody now roll on, white. Let me hear you. Wild horse heaven. Hope it always will be. Roll on, white, far across the sagebrush sea. So we'll raise our glasses high to the big Hawaii. We'll have another round for the fellas that still hear the call. They got to play the card that's dealt them, ride the horses that they cut them, coming off the mountain tapping below jaw. Now I hear you now, roll on, white, wild horse heaven. Hope it always will be. Roll on, white, far across the sagebrush sea. Do it yourself one time. sagebrush sea, or far across the sagebrush sea. Yeah, you sounded pretty. Yeah, sounded good. We must be in Nevada, Elko County. I was raised on the books of Will James, and people of my generation and the ones that are still alive. Will James is, he was very popular in the 40s, and his books were all over the place, and they were inexpensive books, and dads would buy their kids Will James books for Christmas, because that was an easy decision to make. And he could really draw. His drawings were extraordinary. He could draw as good as Charlie Russell, but he could not paint like Charlie Russell. But he was an amazing guy, and he was very popular. He went to Hollywood, and they were trying to make a Western actor out of him and everything. But he had a bit of a drinking problem, which got more and more severe as life went on. And the reason for that, I believe myself, is because he was a Texas boy and born under a covered wagon on the way to Montana with his folks, and all that kind of stuff, very colorful, very cowboy stuff. And but then in the 80s, when we were down there, I think it was about 88 or 87, a book came out from Reno, the University of Nevada, written by Anthony Amaral, and it was the real story of Will James, who turned out to be a French-Canadian guy from Quebec. That was the end. He had a French accent, which he couldn't completely get rid of, which I found fascinating. And I asked guys that had met him. You remember Richard Farnsworth, the wonderful actor? Well, he knew Will James, and he told me stories about him, and he said, well, he was raised eventually when his folks were killed. When he was a little boy, he was raised by a French-Canadian trapper, so that covered that story, which was the accent. But it was really ironic because Will James did become a cowboy. He came west when he was 16, just like Charlie Russell. Went to Saskatchewan, got a job in the big old 75 ranch there, or 75 ranch there, and drifted down across the border. Got thrown in the Nevada State Penitentiary for stealing cattle. I mean, it was his real story was, I always thought it was more interesting than the bullshit that he made up, So, but go figure. Anyway, right or wrong, he had an amazing influence on my generation, And I know cowboys, older cowboys like Les Best and Great Hands up in Wyoming. They were same as me. They were raised on the books of Will James. So this is one of my older songs that you might remember, but this is a new version of it, and it's kind of with a brand new arrangement, and we hope you like it. The story of Will James. When I was but a small boy, Father brought me many books about the creatures of the riverbanks and the sins of old sea cooks. But the ones that I never left behind were the long forgotten games, were the tales of wild and windy slopes by the band they call Will James. his cowboy dream, or so it seemed to me. Perfect combination, riding high and living free. His heroes were his horses, he drew them clear and true. On every page they'd come alive, they'd jump straight out at you. And his race toward the sunset was a high and lonesome kind, like the coyote always looking back. He left no tracks behind. So I memorized those pictures, boys. They're still the very best. If whiskey was his mistress, or his true love was the West. I remember back on Dead Man Creek, and it's 60 years ago, I hired out to breaking some broncs, which I had never done before. Just a city kid, and I asked myself now, what would Will James do? And you know, it was the damnedest thing, 'cause it kinda got me through. And his race toward the sunset was a high and lonesome kind, like the coyote always looking back. He left no tracks behind. So I memorized those pictures, boys. They're still the very best. If whiskey was his mistress, his true love was the West. Yeah, if whiskey was his mistress, his true love was the West. Right on, Will James. Yeah. Thanks a lot. Guys are playing pretty good tonight, don't you think? How about we do a little salute to an iconic figure from Elko County, cow boss of the Great Spanish Ranch for 27 years. His name was Bill Kane. They asked me some of the guys asked me to write this song. I said, well, I don't know if I can do that because I've never met Mr. Kane, and it's pretty hard to. He said, well, we can give you a lot of stories about Bill Kane, and there were a lot of stories, and they started stacking up, and the song finally kind of wrote itself. And I guess he liked it because he called me on the phone and said that he enjoyed it a lot, and he sent me a real nice McCarty that he. A real good Mainhair McCarty that he'd made for me, which I hung proudly on the wall back in Alberta. This is Bill Kane. There's an old-time buckaroo outfit called the Spanish. Straight riding outfit they call the Span. The running of the wagon for Stanley Ellison required a legend. Bill Kane was that man. Bill Kane was the man. 'Cause there weren't no gooseneck trailers on the Spanish. He rode the long trot out there on the Span. Them big old crossbred broncs in the Ellison Caddy, they would surely take the measure of a man. That too was Bill Kane's plan. Oh, there's miles of open country on the Spanish. The wind blows through the sagebrush on the Span. Bill Kane worked the road deer with them gunsel crews. Lord, how he pulled it off, I could never understand. Yeah, Bill Kane was the man. Carry me far across the desert, wild and wide. Carry me where none of the raven goes, on the other side, Squaw Valley side, where the wind has cut me, sun has burned me, on the other side. Many changes have come in the span. Bill Kane has rolled it up and gone. Wherever horsemen ride towards the sunrise, Bill's latter-day legend will live on. Bill Kane live on. There's an old-time buckaroo outfit called the Spanish. Straight riding outfit they call the Span. The running of the wagon for Stanley Ellison required a legend. Bill Kane was that man. Bill Kane was the man. I put my old Olson was in the hospital last week, and it's come out with a whole new attitude, which is great, and a $400 bill. And it was getting a little, guitars are like everything else, you know, they get a little road weary. But that sounds pretty sweet. This is, you know, that when the cowboy was inventing himself back in, right around the time of the Civil War, the American Civil War, and they, at the end of the war, they only, any kind of saleable goods in Texas, South Texas was livestock, and there was wild Spanish cattle that had come over with Columbus, 1493, to the islands of the Caribbean. And when those cattle reached the mainland, which became Texas, it was paradise for cattle, and they multiplied by the thousands. And fortunately for those young men that were cowboys, they were also the Spanish ponies, the Spanish Mustangs that came over with Columbus as well. There were 16 of them. They have all the records. The conquistadors brought them over. They know the names of those horses, the color, the gender, the whole thing. Conquistadors rode stallions. They never gelded anything. So they were mares and stallions, and they proliferated too down in the brush of the South Texas below the Nueces River. And right after the Civil War, Charlie Goodnight and all those guys started rounding them up and taking them north because they heard there's going to be a railroad coming through to Kansas. And they headed north. And being cowboys, they invented their own kind of songs too. They were based on the Scots-Irish melodies of the early days, Scots-Irish refrains, but of course, being cowboys, they put all the new lyrics to them, mostly unprintable ones. This one here is, I think, the prettiest one of them all. It's a beautiful old melody, Irish tune. I'd like you to sing it with me when you get riding up that long trail. For to throw the hula-hand, they feed in the coolies and water in the draw. Their tails are all matted and their backs are all wrong. Goodbye, old man, I'm a-leaving Cheyenne. Goodbye, old man, I'm a-leaving Cheyenne. Leaving Cheyenne, going to Montana. Goodbye, old man, I'm a-leaving Cheyenne. Sing that with me when she comes around again. Now old Bill Jones, he had 2 daughters and a son. The son went to Denver, the daughters went wrong. His wife, she got killed in a bullroom fight, but still he keeps a singing from morning till night. Sing goodbye, old pain, I'm a-leaving Cheyenne. Goodbye, old pain, I'm a-leaving Cheyenne. Leaving Cheyenne, on to Montana. Goodbye, old man, I'm a-leaving Cheyenne. When I die, take my saddle from the wall, put it on old Roni, lead her out of her stall, tie my bones to her back, head our faces towards the west, and we'll ride the prairies, boys, and we love the best. Sing goodbye, old man, I'm a leaving Cheyenne. Goodbye, old man, I'm a leaving Cheyenne. Leaving Cheyenne, going to Montana. Goodbye, old man, I'm a leaving Cheyenne. Sing it one time by yourself. It sounds good. Goodbye, old man, I'm a leaving Cheyenne. Yeah. Bye, old man, I'm a leaving Cheyenne. Leaving Cheyenne. Oh, no. Goodbye, old man, I'm a leaving Cheyenne. Ride around, old man, I'm a leaving Cheyenne. Goodbye, old man, I'm a leaving Cheyenne. Yeah. You did good. It sounded beautiful. All right. You betcha. I forget the key, what capo position this next one's in. No capo? Oh, no wonder I didn't know where it was. Okay. Oops. Oh, it left. When the trail herds, they kept on going after Kansas, after Dodge City and all those cattle towns. They kept on going into the Wyoming territory and on up into Montana territory, and what they called the Big Open, which was the land north of the Missouri River, which went all the way up into Canada, and the Milk River. And that's where Charlie Russell, when he was a kid, he came out west when he was 16 and went to Montana territory, and eventually he became a nighthawk for the big roundups. And that's where the last huge roundups took place. It was the zenith of the open range cowboys. And it was amazing. He was selected to do that by a higher power, because he got it all down. There were guys there, West Coast guys, Riata men with their Riatas, and Texas guys with their grass real hard and fast, and all the different, the styles that were there, because this was the highest level of cow punching that it had ever been at that point. This is in the 90s, and Kid Russell was very popular in those cattle camps, and he'd draw on the tents on canvas with charcoal, anything he could get his hands on. If they were in a bar, he'd get a bar of soap from the bartender, and in just a matter of minutes he'd fashion a mama grizzly bear out of the bar of soap with a cub. I mean, he was something else, is what he was, and but they didn't know at that time that he would become Charles M. Russell, the greatest painter of the West that ever was. And he's been my guiding light all my life, since when I was a kid, about a 9 or 10-year-old kid. I found this book in a dentist's waiting room, sitting there in absolute terror of what was about to happen. Because in British Columbia in those days, they just used rocks on you. They didn't have any. There was no modern equipment. But there was this tattered book there in the waiting room, and it was called Good Medicine. And it was the writings of Charlie Russell. And the drawings in there just blew me away completely. And really, took a lot of the terror out of that circumstance. And I followed him ever since. So this is about the man with the gift, Charlie Russell. In old St. Louis, over in Missouri, the mighty Mississippi, well, it rolls and flows. A son was born to a Mary Russell, and starts the legend every cowboy knows. Now, young kid Russell, he was born to wander ever westward. He was bound to roam. Just a kid of 16 in 1880, up in Wild Montana, he found his home. Got him in Montana for the wild men and for the pagan and the Sioux and Crow. Saved his grace, gift for Charlie, I'll get her all down before she goes. Charlie, got to get her all down. Oh, you know she's bound to go. God hung those stars over Judith Basin. God put the magic in young Charlie's hand. All was seen and all remembered, every shining mountain, every longhorn brand. He could paint the light on the horsehide shining and the passing herd of the buffalo, and a cow camp cold on them rainy mornings, and the twisting wrist of the hula hand throw. I got made in Montana for the wild man and for the pagan and the Sioux and the Crow. Saved his grace, gift for Charlie, to get her all down before she goes. Charlie, got to get her all down. Oh, you know she's bound to go. All right, Charlie. When the Lord called Charlie to his home up yonder, he says, Kid Russell, I got a job for you. You're in charge of sunsets up in old Montana and Alberta, 'cause I can't paint them quite as good as you. And when you're done, we're gonna go out and we'll have us a few. And Nancy Russell, she'll make sure that it's just to Charlie. Got me in Montana for the wild man and for the pagan and the Sioux and Crow. Sadie's greatest gift for Charlie, to get her all down before she goes. Charlie, got to get her all down. Oh, you know she's bound to go. Get her all down before she goes. Charlie, got to get her all down. Oh, you know she's bound to go. I'll get her all down before she goes. Charlie, got to get her all down. Oh, you know she's bound to go. I'll get her all down before she goes. Charlie, got to get her all down. 'Cause Charlie, she is bound to go.
Ladies and gentlemen, the great Ian Tyson.
You've been great. We appreciate it. Yeah, you've been great. Thank you, Willie. Gee, just a half a glass. What kind of a joint is this? Let's have a hand for the musicians, Mr. Warden and Mr. Maxwell. Doing a great job for this. Is could you hear it? Can you hear good out there tonight? Well, give our friend Colin a big round of applause. He's worked hard. Oh, this is nothing like warm Chardonnay. Really. I don't know. Some things don't change, you know. God bless them. Here's a song I wrote for a young lady, young native gal out in British Columbia, a little funny town of Chilliwack, BC. And Kayla, her name is, she's a saddle bronc rider, and she's pretty gutsy. And there's some horses that she can ride, and then there's quite a few that she can't. But she gets up and gets back on. She's pretty amazing. I said, Kayla, I'm going to write you a song. She said, okay. And I can't remember what key it's in. D, I think. No, it's an A. No. She's a saddle bronc gal. She is one of a kind. Drives a beat-up Chevy hatchback, and it grooves her down the line. The big Bronco waiting in a town up ahead. You better hold on tight, get tapped off just right. Saddle bronc girl, if the glory's in the going, oh, you might as well get gone. But she got no way of knowing what kind of bronc she's drawn. On the rodeo road, she chose a warrior's way. You better hold on tight, get tapped off just right. Saddle bronc girl. Hey Kayla, what you gonna do? How far you gotta go to make the dream come true? Our next rider, a young lady from up in British Columbia, Canada, on a bronc called No GST. Shoot for Kayla Muscle. Turn them loose. She's a saddle bronc girl. She is one of a kind. Drives a beat-up Chevy hatchback. It grooves her down the line. Big Bronco waiting in a town up ahead. You better hold on tight, get tapped off just right. Saddle bronc girl. You better hold on tight, get tapped off just right. Saddle bronc girl. They can be trained.
The wind will die at dawn. The sun will rise again. I will rise up with it and go on. The last song has been played. The fiddler must be paid. Now the dance is ending and you're gone. Sun is going down. I wonder where you are. It's turning cold, it chills me to the bone. 'Cause the last song has been played. Fiddler must be paid. Now the dance is ending and you're gone. And the sweet old sad refrain of faded love, how it glides across my memory on the wings of a snow-white dove. But it's all come apart, left a man with a broken heart. Now the dance is ending and you're gone. All right. And the sweet, sweet old sad refrain of faded love, oh, how it glides across my memory on the wings of a snow-white dove. But it's all come apart, left a man with a broken heart. Now the dance is in and you're gone. Now the dance is in and you're gone.
That's a song from Raven Singer, and folks drop on by and pick one up. We'll sign it for you. Here's one of the early ones that I wrote here in Elko when the gathering was starting, and this is well, it tells the story of a little spot down across the tracks. Of course, there are no more tracks now, but there was then. It was across the tracks under the cottonwood trees, just down about a block below the Star Restaurant, a little place called Mona's.
could roll back the years, that when I was young and limber, loses ashes and embers, and no irons in the fire. I could ride the wild young bronco, the adrenaline came quickly. Bonita down at Mona's was my only heart's desire. We were living for the moment, the sunlight on my silver bits, ringing of my jingle barbs was the music of my soul. In the alley back of Mona's, I held Juanita in the shadows, and we held on to each other, the loving that we stole. And the sign of the pines up here near the timberline makes me wish I'd done things different, wishing don't make it so. The time has passed so quick, the years all run together now. Did I hold on to yesterday? Was it 50 years ago? Well, if I would've quit them Broncos, she might have quit that business. That's back in the fast days, boys, before the wire. Bet I could still find her. Oh, I bet she's just as pretty as when she's Juanita down at Mona's, my only heart's desire. And the sign of the pines up here near the timberline makes me wish I'd done things different. Oh, wish I don't make it so. The time has passed so quick, the years all run together now. Did I hold Juanita yesterday? Was it 50 years ago? Take it home. Thank you all so much. Take a bow. Take a bow, boys.
Thanks very much, everybody. Please leave to your right.